you're listening to this lesson, this is for week 6, advertising techniques. Before this lesson, you have learned about 3 persuasive appeals: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos appeals to the audience's sense of what is credible or knowledge and expertise. Logos appeals to logic and facts and statistics. And then pathos appeals to feelings and emotions. Besides just those persuasive appeals, it is helpful for an audience to be aware of other techniques that are used to influence opinions, emotions, attitudes, or behavior, especially as they come into play with advertising and in politics. So we will be learning about 2 advertising techniques that are used not only in political ads, but in everyday advertisements that you see on YouTube or in a magazine that are asking you to follow their guidelines to buy their product. So they're not necessarily positive or negative, these strategies, but it is good for an audience to be aware of them so that you know how you're trying to be persuaded, because the purpose of these advertising techniques is always to persuade. The first technique we will look at is the bandwagon technique. The reason that the bandwagon technique is called a bandwagon is because in the Western days, in the Old West, people who were selling products and also those who were running for political office would use their wagon as a stage, and it was a way for them to, to double up, and they use it for multiple purposes, and they would stand on their wagon and they would ask people to join their group or to buy their product. So basically, you come with me, join the crowd, let's go together. So think about a wagon being a place where people could join together to sit together. So the actual definition is a device to encourage us to follow the crowd and accept the idea that if everybody's doing it, I should too. So it's all about popularity and acceptance. Some examples that you have probably seen is terms like referring to America's #1 best-selling product, so it's a popular product, or join the millions who have not succeeded in losing weight with the use of this product. So it really appeals to an audience's need and desire to be accepted and to be a part of the crowd. So we have used this technique, I know I have, with my parents when I've said, hey, everyone else is doing it, why can't I do it? If you think about what your parents' response has been, what do they usually say? They usually say, if everyone was jumping off a cliff, would you want to do that too? But, sometimes it still works if you let them know everyone else is going. So it's a very effective technique. So in a modern commercial, we're going to look at a commercial that represents a bandwagon because it uses many of those same techniques of feeling accepted. So let's watch it and we'll talk about it in just a moment.
All right, first day of school, Hunter. Remember to raise your hand in class so they see those cufflinks.
I look like our lawyer.
Exactly.
Why can't I just dress like them?
Them?
They look cool.
Excuse me, young people? Pardon me.
Mom,
No,
please.
darling, I have this.
Mom.
Where did you get these looks?
Old Navy?
The Navy. It's the Navy.
Old Navy, Mom.
Could you turn around for us? May we see the back?
Mom, please.
Hunter,
Mom.
Hunter, Mommy's speaking.
Mom,
Hunter!
it's my first day.
Hunter, let Mommy handle this. And how much for the denims?
$8.
$8?
This shirt was $4.
Uh-huh. And you do know that children who lie go to prison, right, Hunter? And does there happen to be any sort of a sale?
Yeah, all kids stuff is up to 60% off.
You're going to be late today, Hunter. We're going to Old Navy.
Okay, so let's talk about this commercial. So who would you say is the target audience of this product? In other words, who are they trying to sell this product to? So to do that, you need to think about who you saw in the ad. Were they trying to target adults? Yes, because did you see a mother in the commercial? Yes, so maybe mothers. How old were the kids that were in the commercial? They were in middle school, at least. So you could say that the target audience would be middle school students and parents who, are purchasing back to school clothes, to be more really specific, because that's what the commercial talked about. Now, what is the purpose of this ad? Now, the purpose is almost always to persuade. So even though they are making us laugh, it's not just to entertain us. Old Navy wants us to go buy their products. So what do they want us to know? So maybe a purpose you could say is that to persuade parents and students that Old Navy has clothes that will make you look good and will help you find acceptance with a group. And then for the parents, since they talk about the price, maybe they're also trying to persuade parents that you get a good value for clothes that will also help your child fit into that particular social group. So which persuasive appeals are used? And sometimes it can be more than one. So we have logos, which are facts and statistics. I don't remember any facts and statistics, although it did state how much the price would be, about 60% off. I mean, that could be considered logos. Ethos, I don't really see a whole lot of knowledge and credibility as far as being the primary one. What about pathos? Think about pathos. Did it make us laugh a bit? Yes, there was some humor. Does it also make us, do we understand as the audience how it feels to be different or to be embarrassed by your parents or embarrassed by your clothing? I mean, who would want to show up to school in cufflinks, right? So maybe I would say pathos would probably be the primary appeal used. And then you're going to have a question on your practice that asks you to explain how that bandwagon technique is used. So notice you can come back and look at this one if you need to, but here's how you could answer that question. The Old Navy commercial demonstrates the bandwagon technique. Okay, so first you're going to say, answer the question. Then you're going to support it with an example. For example, it includes a group of happy, popular students who are dressed well. Okay, what happens next? The son questions his mom, why can't I dress like them? From that, I can imply that he wants to join the crowd, right? So his question implies that he prefers to join the cool crowd of students instead of standing out by wearing a sweater vest and cufflinks. Overall, the conversation between the son, mother, and crowd communicates the idea that Old Navy clothes will help students be accepted by the popular, happy group of peers. And since bandwagon is about being accepted and joining the crowd, that is a complete answer for a short answer response. Remember that we will be using the short answer rubric to score your short answer responses, and those count for 3 points, not just 1 on the multiple choice practices. Okay, so almost completely opposite from bandwagon is avant-garde. If bandwagon is about being part of the crowd and being like everyone else, avant-garde appeals to people who want to be different and want to be unique. It's in an avant-garde commercial, they're trying to make the product seem new and so cool that you're going to be the first one on the block to have it, or only so many people are going to be able to have it, a limited number. So it will suggest exclusivity. You're going to be joining an exclusive club. You're going to be the only one. It suggests sometimes that the product's going to put the user ahead of the times. So look for references to being different or unique. So it's the opposite of bandwagon. Okay, so this appeals to the audience that wants to be different, not like everyone else. So an example would be like if a toy manufacturer encourages kids to be the first to have a new toy. So here we have a commercial that represents avant-garde. Let's watch that together.
In a world full of diktats and conventions, could there be another way? La vie est belle. La vie est belle. The new fragrance, Lancôme.
Okay, so let's talk about this commercial. So who would the target audience of this product be? Probably females. I would say female adults, because adult women, because I didn't see, there are men in the commercial, but it doesn't seem like that they are the ones that are the primary target. There are more women in the commercial, and because Julia Roberts is a celebrity, that would appeal more to that age group. So adult women, and it's also for perfume and not for cologne. So if you know that, you can tell that your target audience is the female. What's the purpose of the ad? What are they trying to persuade us about? I would look for persuading. Looks to me like they're trying to persuade us that their perfume, the Lancôme perfume, will help us be more like Julia Roberts, which in that commercial, she's free from society's rules. She's the only one that can break free from those the diamond strings that were holding everyone else down. So they are trying to associate their perfume with freedom and with going against the norm. So which persuasive appeals are used? Did you see facts and statistics? No, so no logos. Do we have ethos or credibility and expertise? I would say that you could say that Julia Roberts is an expert in acting, but I don't know that she is an expert in perfume making. So I think that they're trying to appeal to pathos, which would be the emotion or feeling that of being free. That would be something that most people would desire, is freedom and beauty. So I think that pathos would be the most obvious persuasive appeal. And then you would answer this question, explain how this demonstrates the avant-garde technique, which means being different, unique. So here's what I have written, and you could write something similar when you do your practice. The advertisers for Lancôme use the avant-garde technique to show how wearing Lancôme perfume will make women unique and free. So notice how that answer includes pretty much everything we've talked about before: the target audience, the purpose, and the persuasive appeals. In the commercial, so now I'm going to describe with my examples or my proof. So I've answered, now I'm going to prove. In the commercial, Julia Roberts wears a white dress while all of the other women wear dark colors. Okay, so she's different. Also, the commercial creates the image of puppet strings for all people who are not like Julia and wearers of Lancôme perfume. She's aware of Lancôme perfume, so she is different. Conversely, Julia is free from those same strings. The commercial implies that Lancôme is for any woman who wants to be different and uncontrolled by others. Okay, so that's one way to respond. So hopefully you have an understanding of these two techniques: bandwagon, which is join the crowd, join the popular crowd, and then avant-garde, which is stand out from the crowd and be different. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening.